hello. Don't know why that's my default voice I do whenever I like turn on a camera when I start recording. Like, I swear to God to you, every single time I go to edit a video, I do the Mr. Frog hello. Don't know why, I just do it. It's just a part of me that, like, I mean, I did it before Smiling Friends, so I feel like blaming Mr. Frog just isn't a fair thing to do. Don't know what I'm doing with my leg, by the way. I'm not used to not holding a microphone, and I'll explain for why. Because usually, if you're not familiar with my content, well, let's not do too many gestures with my hands like that, shall we? We're off to a spectacular start. I usually hold a microphone, but I can't do that anymore because I recorded a whole video about this very topic that we're going to cover today, that you would have read about in the title that made you click on this video. I fully edited it, was doing the TikTok edit of it, and I happened, don't know why and what possessed me to put on headphones, but I did, and I was listening to it back, and I heard this weird humming sound, and I don't know what it was. I don't know what was causing it, what was happening, but I've got a funny feeling it's to do with me holding my microphone. So I've put the microphone down and I've put it in a stand, because I kind of lost the stand. Like, what was it? I got this microphone like a year ago. This is how long I've been trying to make this YouTube thing work, and I just wouldn't do it because I was a pussy, for reasons which we'll cover in this video as well, because it works into the point that I'm making. Not that I make many points in my YouTube videos. I usually just talk shit until it hits about 20 minutes and I go, that's good enough to post. Yeah, I couldn't put that out in good faith because it was irritating me in like the 5 minutes I watched. Never mind if I put out like the full, like, I think it was like a 23-minute video. That would be dreadful, you know? And even in the TikTok edit, which was like, I think like 5 minutes I got it down to, because I was rambling utter shit as well, which didn't help my case of keeping that video and try to salvage it. I was talking shit and it sounded like shit, so I was like, you know what, I'll just re-record it. Because it just didn't sound right. So if I sound a bit more distant, or if it doesn't sound right, then hey, it just is what it is. At least you don't have a weird humming in your ear, you know. This is a really soothing kind of motion, you know. I'm enjoying this. I'm just rocking my knee back and forth. But yeah, it's like 1 a.m. I have tried to record this video like 4 times now, and I keep getting like tongue-tied, so I'm just gonna speak without looking at my notes, because I feel like that's what's causing me to get tongue-tied, because every single time I try and plan a video, it goes tits up, because I get so focused in, like, I'm not wording it eloquently, and I think I can be quite an eloquent person on paper, just not in person. You know, when I'm trying to talk, I feel like it just doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound like it's coming from me. So you're going to have to deal with me being a bit rambly, which is kind of standard for my videos if you don't know. But yeah, so I'm not holding a microphone in this. So you're going to see me do hand gestures and it's going to be like a puppet show. But yeah, the video that I made was talking about this trend at the minute that's going around to Adele's song, Baddest Bitches Ain't in LA. I think that's the title of the song, and I think that's how you say her name. I'm not very familiar, I can't lie. But, you know, it allowed a lot of people from smaller places, smaller towns and cities to, I guess, kind of be like, I'm a bad bitch too. It's not all about the people that are down in London and New York and LA, because I've seen some people from New York and London try to jump in on this trend, and I hate to say it, guys, it's not for you. It's not for you. It's for people who are from places that you couldn't point to on a map, you know? And I don't know what, this song just really got to me and moved me. It hit me right in my Niall Horan. Because he's covering my heart right now. That's a terrible joke. What a great first impression this would be of someone. You know, you're watching this video, you went, you know what, I'll give a small time YouTuber. I've had enough of Markiplier, I've had enough of Queso. Assuming you're watching like gaming content. I'll give this random person a try, and it's just me being like, oh. So, as I was saying, see what I mean about me rambling? I always end up in a different place than I actually started from and where I was intending to go. It's really good. Anyway, I really like this trend because I am someone from a small town. Am I a bad bitch? That's up for debate, but I do resonate with the feelings behind this song, which is that, you know, not everybody's born in a place where that matters, that like creativity and coolness matters. Some of us are born into industrial fishing towns. That's why I think this trend is so nice, because it's like a little shout out to the gals that are, you know, not so fortunate to live in such a big place where they could really rely on that coolness and creativity to get them farther and to have it as a career. You know, I know a lot of very cool people from places that you couldn't point to on a map, that you have no clue where they're from. You know, you say it and people go, where's that near? It gives them an opportunity to be like, I'm here, bitch. It really moved me. And I filmed a whole video about it, and it just kind of, you know, I think I was too emotional. I think that was the issue. I think I need more time to resonate with it and kind of think about it a little bit more, ruminate on it, as Lily Allen would say. Very different context to what Lily Allen was expressing in that song, but I think it's such an important thing because it starts the conversation of, you know, I've always had a firm belief that people who are from small towns and are cool are much cooler than the people who are from big cities, because that coolness that small town people have, that people from small towns have garnered over the years and curated, is something that was fought for. It's something that wasn't just kind of accepted very easily, or like, you know, accepted at all. I know a lot of very cool people who are still not accepted in their hometowns purely for the fact that, you know, it just isn't the way of life. It just isn't the way things are done around there. My town is a perfect example. My biggest fear starting a YouTube channel was, what are people going to say, especially with the way I do this? You know, I come on here, I don't do any big production things. I don't come here looking particularly nice or well dressed. I come on here in comfy t-shirts and hoodies, and I usually have my hair in an absolute fucking mess. And I just sit here and I speak for 20-25 minutes at a time. I try not to drag it on too long, you know. And I don't like do my makeup. I don't do anything crazy. I don't come on here intending to look like I was meant to be on camera. I'm just here as if this is like a FaceTime between us. You know, we're just having a wee ramble about things. Except you can't answer anything that I say. So I remember when I first started this channel, it was a very different idea I had for it. I watched a lot of makeup content purely because I only felt comfortable on camera with a ton of makeup on my face. And, you know, with well formatted things, I literally would write scripts. I did all this crazy high energy editing. You know, I was trying to be funny. I was trying to do little bits in the videos. And I remember I uploaded one video and then I just didn't upload again for months at a time. And it was because I was chasing after that kind of content and that kind of vibe when it never has been my vibe. I think these videos, the way I do them now, which is low budget, like I literally just sit with a microphone and I talk about things that I'm thinking about and are like pressing, not even issues, but just like, you know, things that are important to me. That is what's important to me now. That doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like, making content like that is important for me now, to have these things that are like, you know, it's just like little diaries. Because I think that's kind of what YouTube's missing. I think everything's more like dopamine editing and like Mr. Beast thumbnails and all this kind of bullshit. I think we kind of need a nice little cozy corner of the internet, and sadly I'm the person that's doing it at the minute. Maybe someone else will come along and it'll be way cooler, but you're stuck with me for now. I felt like I was going to face a lot of, I don't want to say like adversities or anything like that. I don't want to say that I thought I was going to be like, you know, face any hate or anything like that. But I did, much like a lot of people I know from my hometown that's doing creative things, there is a level of bitchiness almost. Like, you know, you kind of know people are going to watch these videos and cringe and be like, that's so cringy, you're going on the internet and you're doing what? But it was a very real thing that I was scared of happening to me, because as much as I act very blasé on camera, I go, oh, I don't really care, I don't give a fuck, whatever. I think it's a very real thing at the same time where it does kind of scare me a little bit, like, and it put me off making videos, it put me off ever creating anything like this, because it was like, you know, I didn't want to come across as like I thought I was cool, which is kind of what the song is saying. Like, you know, even though it's like, oh, the baddest bitches ain't in LA, I think the baddest bitches sometimes don't even know they're the baddest bitches because they've spent so much of their lives being ridiculed for being like different. And, you know, not that I'm saying I'm that, but I do think I can relate to that idea of like, you know, cool girl isms aren't that welcome. You know, everybody thinks like a cool girl nowadays is like your clean it girl kind of vibe. You know, the whole point of the Adele song is that, you know, a lot of cool girls aren't like anybody else and therefore will face that ridicule and will face that kind of fear of people nagging and saying things behind their backs because of the fact that they aren't playing by the usual rules. I just feel like people from bigger cities don't face that same like adversities and don't face those same kind of fears because, you know, in a big city you walk past 100 people a day and you might never see those people ever again in your life, which is an idea that is so unfathomable to me. As someone who would love to live in a big city, I think that is a crazy concept because I could walk down the road today and I would walk past at least 20 people and I would know about 15 of them. The idea of that is just so crazy, but it also kind of aids cool girls in a way because it's like you're not having to worry about what other people say because really the only people that are going to know what you're doing is the people that know you and love you for you. Whereas in a small town, people that know you and maybe don't love you for you are going to know what you're doing and will be like, that's cringy, that's embarrassing. And they'll send it in their group chats with their friends and be like, look, that's so cringe. I hope no one does that about me, actually, now that I think about it. If they do, hey, hi. I don't really give a fuck. I think that's why it's so much easier to be a cool girl in a big city because it's like, no one I see on a daily basis, or like 99% of the people I see on a daily basis are going to have an impact on my life outside of this moment that I see them for, or I maybe speak to them for in passing. Whereas in a small town, it's very much the opposite. You see the same kind of faces and you see the same kind of people all the time and you know everybody. I feel like big cities are big mixed bags of people. You know, you get different people from all sorts of walks of life. And I'm not saying you can't get that in towns. I feel like nowadays you definitely are starting to see some of that, much to the dismay of certain horrible types of people. I feel like it's very rare. You know, from where I'm from, when I see an alternative person, someone that maybe dresses a bit more goth, a bit more emo, a bit more, you know, in a different way, they're ridiculed for that. And it's a very rare thing to see because of that ridicule. Because some people just don't want to deal with that. I know I don't. There's a reason why people... It's like a trend on TikTok as well to be like, oh, I'm wearing like a big city outfit to like a small town night out. And it's not like a radical thing. It's like maybe they've just got like bleached brows and they're maybe wearing like a graphic dress or some shit like that. And that's like crazy to the people that you'll see in Weatherspoons when you go for a night out. That's a ridiculous idea. They're like, where the fuck are your eyebrows? Which is crazy to me because I feel like it's so commonplace on my For You page to see people like this that I kind of forget that when you go outside and you dress a certain way, it is a shock to certain people because it's just not how people here dress up. I feel like in a big city that's not an issue either because it's like, well, people wherever the fuck they want. I mean, I remember when I was in New York, which honestly is like one of my favorite places in the world. Like I can't speak about it for too long without crying. Like, you know how white men are about Japan? That's me for New York. And I've definitely said that on camera before, but I'll say it again. It bears repeating. I love New York. And when we were in New York, you've seen so many people from all walks of life dressed so differently and so flamboyantly, which you would never see in the corners of the world that I have been and I'm from. It's just not something, it's such a radical thing that isn't radical at all there, you know. You've seen people dressed in all sorts and it was incredible, and I think that's why I love New York so much, is that it just is a different place. It just is such a unique place. In a way, it is cool because of that. But I also think that so much of the cool people from these cities are people from small towns. They import them motherfuckers in. Let's not lie to each other now. Most of the people that I know that are very, very cool, and, you know, I feel like creativity kind of equates to coolness as well. I feel like a lot of cool people are creative. So, you know, there's no creative industries in a lot of small towns. I know that for certain. Is a set career plan or is as accessible as it is in like cities. Like, you know, I know if I was born in London, I'd have a lot more opportunity. I would have a lot more careers to pick from. Whereas from where I'm from, it's either you be a caterer, an engineer, or you work in retail for the rest of your life, and that's it. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's a good thing for certain people. Some people like that. But for creative people, it's a death sentence. It sucks. And I mean, I get to live this beautiful best of both worlds where I live a very normal life and I do very, normal tasks and I work a normal job. But then I can come on here and I can do something a bit more creative. I also do art on the side and I do stuff like that to keep this kind of going, because I feel like if you don't nourish that, and sadly for a lot of people in small towns, they have to do that nourishing themselves. It doesn't come from their environment or from the people around them, it comes from themselves. And there's a reason why people from small towns go, I need to leave here, and it's because there's no accessibility for these things. There's no careers here for them to succeed in what they want to do, and it's why they end up going to big cities, and it's why they end up with a massive import of cool people. It kind of devalues my point of cool people from small towns are cooler than people from big cities, because they kind of are the same thing, because all the cool people I know from my small town have moved to big cities to do what they do, but just on a full-time basis, and to live completely free of judgment and completely free of, any sort of ridicule or hilarity. That's the thing. That's the people that are lucky to get out and are lucky to move away to like places like Aberdeen and Glasgow and London and maybe even to America and so on and so forth. Because not all of us get the opportunity to do that. There's many, many cool people I know who are so talented and deserving and hardworking and should be in LA and should be in New York and should be in all these places so they can live that full existence that is truthful to who they are and serves and nourishes their creativity and their coolness, that are trapped in small towns working retail jobs where they're stuck stocking shelves for 8 hours a day and having to put like their true hopes and dreams on the back burner. It makes me sad if I speak about it for too long, because I'm someone that obviously what I enjoy doing creatively is something I can do alongside my own life, and I make time to do this because I have felt an improvement since kind of doing YouTube and doing things, and now that I don't just create because I want to be the best at it, I kind of create just because it's fun to do. It's something I enjoy doing. But there's people out there that can't afford to nourish these things in their own life. They work 40 hours a week, and when it comes to like their 2 days off a week that they would get, it's spent taking that time to kind of rebuild themselves up to then go mask for another week. It's a very harmful way to live, because if you can't nourish that creativity, it dies. And it really is kind of a death sentence for a lot of very creative people to be stuck in a small town that doesn't serve that creativity, which is a point I've already made about half a dozen times, but it bears repeating. It just makes me very sad. And I think that's why this song hits me so hard, because there is a lot of cool people that deserve to be in LA, that deserve to be in these places that are so incredible and are so nourishing to these types of people, that can't afford to go there and maybe will never get there. And I think that's really lame. I think it's really funny that this song and this trend has coincided the release of Olivia Rodrigo's album, and specifically the trend with her song Purple, which has the line, I had big dreams before I tied myself to you. And I think it kind of plays very well into this whole thing of cool people being in small towns and not affording to go and do cool girl things in big cities, because there's no way for them to get there. There's no avenues, no resources, no fair way to get there, unless they get fucking stupidly lucky, which, hey, you can only hope for. I could be the next Emma Chamberlain, I promise. Just give me 100,000 subscribers, I promise. Let me access the Creator Fund. I think it's really funny that these two trends have kind of coincided with each other, because I think that can very much apply to this, in the sense that you can have all these big dreams, but you are always going to be tied to what is most realistic and is what is most accessible to you. And for 99% of cool people from these small towns, it is just to do your thing on the side and put all your focus into something you don't love. This is a very dreary video. I feel like we have to end it on a good note. It's not all doom and gloom, I think if you work hard enough, you can get out of your small town and go be a cool girl in a big city. And even if you are always stuck in your small town, I think as long as you stay true to yourself, that's the most important thing in the world. I understand it's a bit of a hard thing to do in small towns, but I'm here and I'm not that I'm not that radical, but I'm telling you to keep at it because it's important. It's important for other people to see that you can exist in that way, and it's important for people to see that and believe that, and you know, you can be a mood board picture for someone's life. That's a nice thought, I think. That feels quite eloquent and quite like fully rounded, right? What do I know? I'm not getting paid to say this shit. I come on here for fun. So thank you for watching. I hope it wasn't too unbearable. I hope, you know, you got through it and you weren't just like, fuck, I hope she shuts up soon. If you like this, you might like my other videos. You can check them out if you want. You can join the 30 other people that have watched my videos. I hit 35 subscribers recently. That's exciting, you know? That's a cool thing that happened to me. Yippee! But yeah, I hope this video sounded better too. I hopefully, you know, will never have issues with my mic peaking again, because it's far enough away that I feel like if I laugh and if I talk very loudly it won't do it. So, but we'll see in editing if it works, but hopefully it sounded a little bit better, because that was the whole point in putting a stand anyway. So yeah, but I'm gonna skedaddle. I'm gonna go play Fortnite for a little bit before I go honk shoe. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, ring the bell. I think that's still a thing, right? Insert hello neighbor gif of hello neighbor telling you to do that. That always makes me laugh for some reason. I don't know why. That's just a funny thing. Anyway, good night. Adios, bonvenue.